Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope you guys are doing well today. I want to talk about something. Some of you may already know about this story. I'm not going to get into all the details of it, but basically we have a major celebrity that allegedly, have to say allegedly, even though it was on camera, just assaults another celebrity, right? I don't watch like awards and stuff like that. I'm just, I stopped watching those things like decades ago. I was just always thought they were kind of boring and stuff. And then when I used to watch the music awards and stuff, a while back, after a while it just started getting more and more wild. And just with my career and other things, I just didn't have time to like really sit down and watch a lot of TV and know when these things are coming up. But so, it's gone out that a major and well-known celebrity slapped another major celebrity because during a roasting session he mentioned his wife and all of that. And guys, so he walks up on the stage, slaps this celebrity in the face. Everybody was thinking it was a joke, but it wasn't, because it's in the news now. And there's a lot of, people have divided opinions about it, but they also show clips of after the person slapped this individual, goes back down in the audience, hurls profanity at him. He's there with his family, taking pictures at an after party as if nothing has happened, followed up by being awarded. I guess he was already nominated for it, so I don't know how they do it. If you're already in line for it, they're going to give it to you. I don't know what's to happen later, if anything. But time and time again, guys, we're just seeing people that, regardless of their position, but especially if you're wealthy, there's just like a different standard. If it was a regular person that had no celebrity status that had done that, there would have been some serious repercussions, charges made. If the celebrity who assaulted the other one, if he said something about a regular guy's life and this non-celebrity came up and slapped him across the face for it, he would have pressed charges nonetheless, okay? And so I guess during the awards they do have roasting sessions and things where everybody's fair game, because apparently what was said is that this person was doing it anyway to other people. It's just a common thing, but this was taken because, of course, it was just a sensitive topic. But guys, what we are seeing a lot of that's happening in the celebrity world is what a standard that goes for your regular everyday Joe, Jane and Joe, Jane and John Doe. It's different for them, okay? Now, why is this? Well, the Bible talks about things like that, where the justice, the systems, and the laws will be perverted and changed simply because of the wealth of someone. Someone can pay and things are not going to happen to them. You see it all the time. You see it even with non-celebrities. Someone could murder, assault somebody, and if they can make bond, they're going to get out. So there are just so many questions here. But guys, getting back to what I was talking about with the celebrity, there's a different rule and law that applies to them, and behaviors that would not normally be acceptable. It's not okay to hit anybody, but the message that was conveyed is, in this case, it's okay. You're not supposed to hit anybody unless you're a celebrity. You're not supposed to hit anyone and verbally assault them and act in a rage unless you are famous, unless you have money, unless you have status. And again, you see this happen with, even in the Christian circles, right? They get higher up and begin to know more people, and certain behaviors that they may preach on and say is wrong, it's different if it's them. And so, guys, I just want to talk to you. Number one, celebrities, they are also called idols. That's my idol. Do you think it's just coincidence that celebrities are also known as idols? Could have your hip-hop idols, K-pop idols. Celebrities are idols because people idolize them and place them up into godlike positions. So this also goes outside of the realm of just fandom, fans and followers, but this also bleeds into your everyday society to include the justice systems, things of that nature, because they are a celebrity, they are an idol. Therefore, behaviors and things that they do, it's a blind eye is turned. They get stuff different. We see it a lot. There's been a lot of recent happenings where people are doing things. You see celebrity that's doing stuff, and even if they're found guilty of it, they're given a slap on the wrist. They're walking around. They're still being told, oh, you can still go and film, and I will give you time to go and leave the country to do the things that you need to do, and blah, blah, blah. But then at the same time, someone who's poor or doesn't have money, who has done equal or less offenses, they're going to get the slammer. And so this is the thing that the Bible talks about, where justice, there is partiality in justice, partiality in behaviors. People are going to treat someone different because this person is rich, but this person is poor. But it goes against everything that our justice system is supposed to be about. That is why they have the Lady Justice statue in the courts, where she is supposed to be balancing the scales of judgment. This is what these individuals are supposed to do. Balancing the scales of justice. Okay? She has a sword, which also represents not only having justice, but defending those who are poor, defending what is right. That's why she has a sword there. And that's why she's standing on this book, and that's why there's a serpent under her feet. This is a symbol of it, okay? I don't believe in Lady Justice, but I'm just saying, all right, that we're supposed to stand on the laws of what's right and what works for all people, despite our differences in social statuses. And we're not supposed to allow any sort of underhanded, I believe that's what the snake will represent, underhanded activities. We should not be accepting bribes. We should not be allowing anything that is slick, slick words and manipulation. That should not be allowed in. Okay? And not only that, guys, she also has on the blindfold, which means this responsibility of these individuals, those that are put in power to bestow and to defend and to impose justice, or even to help someone to be oh goodness, what is the word? I'm on a roll. To either to impose justice, or also to give another person justice, to help someone, to help those who are less fortunate. We're supposed to be doing those things. They're supposed to be doing these things regardless of what a person looks like. Okay? They bring relief to those who are downtrodden. They are the defendants of those who can't defend themselves, so they have to go before the judges. But what's going on? That is being tainted Why? Because even in the justice system, and it can be, there are these celebrities and individual who has money and connections, they are idolized. So therefore, what would normally go for anyone else is not going to go for them. Okay? So seeing an outward assault on television, apparently it happened live, rants and raves, and it's becoming a norm. I don't know if you guys are understanding and seeing how celebrities are leading the way, okay? So therefore, if they can do it, it's going to open up a door to a certain type of behavior that everybody's going to say it's okay because it's this person. And this means if a celebrity does something to you or your family, you are just pretty much done. You have no say, because if they can do that within their circles, what can they do to you? What can they demand and impose on you? But guys, it goes down to the word of God that talks about how things are going to be in the last days. The Bible talks about how things are going to be, how people are going to get wicked, and right will be called wrong, wrong is called right. You see these things that the word of God talks about, and you see it happening. And what's going on is there is a worship of these individuals. They're being elevated. Okay? And so even when they're wrong, they're not wrong. So one of the things you have to think about, especially, whatever form of celebrity it is, look at their lifestyle and how they're living and how they deal with conflicts and how they behave when they are angry. And think, these might be individuals that your children are looking at and idolizing, and society is just idolizing them, and there is no wrong. But that's why it's important, guys, to make the Lord, make him be your example. That may sound kind of lame to some people, but who do you look to? Who do you look to? What are the examples that's being set here? If someone makes you angry, punch them. If someone makes you mad, get out of order. Don't forget about where you are. Forget about that you are in a public setting. Forget about everyone else around you. Forget about the rules and the regulations, and just punch someone, hurt someone, slap somebody in the face. And further, show no remorse. Okay? So it's important, guys, that you continue to be in your word, follow the principles of God, even though it may seem lame in this world. It may seem kind of silly in the world that we're living in today, but stick to that. Who is your idol? Pay attention to that. Who are you idolizing? Who are you looking at and saying, oh, I want to be like this person? Is it a person that's calling women bees and hoes? Is it a person that they are quick to jump into violence? And people may say, in this case, oh, this is the first time this has happened. It's no big deal. Well, someone could spit in your face the first time. Is that okay? And oftentimes, guys, it's not the first time. It's just that's the first time we are seeing that behavior. But that person is that way, especially depending on what they do. Some people can get mad and they normally don't get mad like that. But when you look at everything that's happened, if someone's in a public space and they just walk up and the cameras are rolling and there's an audience, there's no restraint, that your anger is of such that you literally just go against the order that is required in a place and walk up on stage and you hit someone and assault them, then you walk back to your seat and then you throw out some profanities. Guys, these things are not okay. And I'm not here to necessarily talk about this person in particular, guys, but it has to be discussed how it's becoming a norm to behave a certain way without consequence. It's a norm to just do whatever you feel like doing. Celebrities are doing whatever they want to do. They can incite people and encourage people to do the same thing. That's the thing about it. And what you also have to realize is, why is it that some celebrities, they will do certain things and nothing happens to them? Why is it that there's some celebrity pastors, which it should never be celebrity and pastors together, but celebrity pastors and leaders, and even those that are, even though they're not leaders or celebrities, they're just leaders and pastors in a church. Why is it that they're able to do certain things and nothing happens to them, even when the evidence is glaring? Because of the principalities and the powers that they are a part of and that they represent. They may not necessarily feel that way, but Satan has a very organized, the principalities of darkness are organized. So as long as the devil wants to continue to use these individuals to influence and to do certain things, the law will not touch them. That's why the courts will do something different, because they're principalities and powers over there. And so you find, even though there are a few judges and few that are in law enforcement, and the few that are attorneys, even though they may push for justice and push for right, because there's a principality and a power, a supernatural organization that's set over that, even though they may do some right things, you will see that there could be an appeal, something that overturns it, and that person's going to walk. And nothing's going to happen to them. Why? Because for the time being, as long as Satan needs certain people to mislead others, to cause mayhem, to incite division, and to do certain things, he's going to protect them. You hear that? Here's a key word, for the time being, as long as Satan needs certain people in certain position to continue to mislead others, to incite others, to cause division, to even continue to do wrong to others, as long as he needs them for that, as long as he wants to continue to use them as an influence, okay, for a time being over certain people, he's going to protect them. Why? Because there are other principalities and powers that are in law enforcement, that are in the courthouses, that are in just certain places, that they're going to let the person go. Because the whole thing is, we still want to utilize this individual to continue to wreak havoc, to continue to do certain things, to influence these individuals. We want to use them so that the rest of the world could see that they are powerless. The rest of the world could begin to think, oh, we can incite violence too. Whatever it is, Satan is not going to let anything happen to them, because he's still using them. But ironically, what happens to everyone, once the devil has had his fill with certain individuals, then suddenly there will be something that completely destroys their entire career. Remember, scandals and downfall happens just like this. The individuals would have been going on forever, going on for years doing certain things, but it takes one moment that everything is changed for them forever. Okay? And not only that, guys, I can't remember what I was going to say about that, but it is also, these things are in place to bring discouragement to individuals like ourselves. You look at it and you see the rich getting away with things while the poor is not. You will see the injustices. You'll see someone still smiling like nothing has happened. Okay? So this can also bring discouragement to those who are following after the Lord. But you have to realize that everything is operated by the unseen. And so when you see these individuals behaving this way, number one, you have to realize they're idolized. They're idolized. And so the worship of them goes beyond the fandom. and their groups and their followers, because there's a purpose in why certain celebrities are in the positions that they're in. They are placed in this position of fame and fortune because they are set in that to influence souls and to influence people to follow a certain way of being. And other celebrities that's coming up, they're being influenced by those who have been in positions for a long time. Because why would someone get away with certain things? Because of who they are. Oh, they've been in movies. So think about the mindset of the world. Oh, you can slap someone in the face and nothing is going to happen to you because of who you are, because you are famous, because you are rich, because you have money, because you have connections with other famous people. So you can do what you want to do, and that's it. So that is the shallow mindset of the world. But what people have to understand is the word of God says, after death comes the judgment. So people have connections in this world, but when life ends and they're in eternity, they're no longer going to be celebrities. They're no longer going to be this well-known pastor and leader. They no longer are a pastor of a mega church. They're a soul that stands before God. So what I want to talk with you about is ask you, who's your idol? If you have anything that is outside of God, it's that person, that celebrity is an idol. What is their behavior like? What do your children listen to? Who are they listening to? Who are they impacted by? And the other thing you have to realize, when you see these things happening, when you see these injustices taking place, and you see all the wrongdoing and the evil that's taking place in our society, you want to ensure that you do understand that the reason why people are getting away with things is because they are tied to specific principalities and powers that's going to use them. And because of the way the world is, their heart is waxing cold. People that are violent are going to celebrate and be okay with those who are being violent. People who are disrespectful to the elderly and abusive to their families are going to support celebrities and important people that are abusive and abusive to their own families, because everybody wants a champion. I always say this, okay? And I'm not referring to anyone. Let's say, if this was even possible, roaches no longer wants to be known as being dirty and nasty and associated with trash. So if they can champion one roach to go ahead and make a difference, if they can champion and push for that one roach that wants to say, I want to be clean, but still want to live that roach life, they're going to push and they're going to champion that roach. Why? Because if that roach can break those barriers and do what they want to do regardless, it opens the door for the rest of the roaches. And so this is why we see bad behavior being championed, a blind eye being turned to things that are obviously wrong. Because sometimes there is another type of evil that has been deemed evil that needs for this to be okay and for this behavior to be fine, so that now they can be justified and come in and say, well, this person did it, it's okay. If someone who is considered an idol and considered to be of importance can behave this way, well, maybe there's a chance for the rest of us. So guys, that's why it's important that we as believers must keep our eyes stayed on the Lord, that we'll not get conformed to this world, that we'll not be discouraged by what people are getting away with. You have to have an understanding of why certain people get away with the things that they do, even when the evidence is glaring. You have to understand the purpose that Satan has in placing these individuals in positions, and don't take it lightly that they're called idols. They're called idols for a reason. Because the idea is for them to be idolized by society and take their eyes off of God. So who's your idol? Understand that there are people in communities that don't think that way, but they're being overshadowed mostly by the noise of those who are in greater positions. But don't lose hope. And don't think, well, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. You don't have to do that. Stay focused on the Lord. And sometimes you guys may go through this stuff at your job, right? And at work and different things like that. You may be in a position where there is a group of individuals that they're getting away with all types of shenanigans, and it seems as if nothing is happening to them. But I want you to stay encouraged and keep your eyes on God, because God is going to vindicate you. God is going to take care of you. Remember, the Bible says the unrighteous and the ungodly, it seems like they're spreading like a green bay tree. Nothing is happening to them. David specifically did a psalm about this. It seems as if nothing is happening to these people. God, I'm doing right and this person's doing wrong, and they're just getting away with stuff. What gives? But you have to understand how God works. Because just as it was said about the green bay tree, they were spreading and they were growing. Everything was going well for them. And suddenly they were cut off and no more. And so people that do evil and people that do wrong and people who appears as if they're getting away with everything, there's a suddenly that comes in their life. And sometimes that suddenly will be things that happen in this life. And sometimes that suddenly is suddenly when they reach the end of their lives. They're going to stand in eternity simply as what? A soul that lived a life of debauchery, doing whatever they want to do, and they're going to get the judgment of God. So you keep doing the right things at your job. You keep doing the right thing in your situations. Even if it seems that this person is getting away with things, they are not getting away. And God is going to vindicate you, and God is going to take care of you. And you just have to know, no matter how much evil they're doing, no matter how much evil people choose to do, don't change your position and do not join with them. Because if you do that, you're going to end up getting the same recompense. You're going to end up getting the same consequences that they do. Stay encouraged, because the world still needs people that are doing right. Stay encouraged, because the world still needs people who are going to stand up for justice and right. And honestly, the way this other celebrity handled things, when he was slapped in the face, his hand was behind his back. When he was slapped in the face, he did not respond back. He did not go into a rage. He did not follow him off the stage. There was not a big fight. And he finished off whatever presentation he was supposed to do. And that in itself, guys, speaks absolute volumes. Now, I don't know if he's a Christian. I don't know of that. But the bottom line is, even in that situation, he was able to maintain his peace and did not follow into what was done to him on a public stage. And guys, that's how we have to be as believers. Oh my goodness. He exemplified turning the other cheek, whether he's a believer or not. And remember, even the Bible talks about this. Some people, even that don't believe, there's some principles in all of us that we know what to do correctly. The law is in all of us, whether we want to do things right or not. Okay? So people are talking a lot about what has been done to him or what this person did. But more than anything, the absolute control that this other person had not to respond, even when he was still being cursed at, he still maintained his position. That is what we have to do as believers. How much more as believers do we just maintain? All right, guys. Thank you for listening.